Hey guys, it's Samwise, and today we've got a video. Welcome. You're probably new to my channel because I haven't really done much here. This is my first real official tech unboxing review video, so thank you for joining. And maybe throw me a like if you enjoy this. Maybe subscribe if you really enjoy it. And if not, leave me some feedback on what I can do better. This is something I feel really passionate about, something I've been wanting to jump into for a long time, and I'm finally giving it a go. So yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what I can do better, or just give me that like, give me that subscribe, and I will take it. Okay, today I want to talk about the 2023 Asus ROG Flow X13 laptop. Picked this up on a Best Buy sale, super heavily discounted. It was like $6.99 new, $6.50 open box, killer deal. To give you a little bit of background, I was actually shopping for like a Legion Go or an Asus, whatever, the ROG Ally, maybe even the Steam Deck, the new OLED. But I've got the old LCD version and it seems to be fine, so I didn't really see a whole point in buying another one. But I was looking at a gaming handheld. I wanted something that I can use to play games with on the go, on flights, in hotel rooms, quick and easy, doesn't need to be crazy high spec, just give me some games. Particularly Overwatch, that's what I tend to play the most. I know, I'm a masochist, what can I say? Love the game, all my friends play it, gotta play it. And for the longest time, I've used primarily Mac laptops. So I do actually have a MacBook Pro here, a 16-inch, as you can see. Great laptop, it's probably what I'll edit this video on. Gaming's a little subpar though. It just wasn't a great experience. So wanted something I could play on the go, particularly Overwatch, but other handheld friendly titles. Hades is another one that comes to mind, Dave the Diver, stuff like that. Easy to run, fun to play, on a plane, in a hotel room, not a huge commitment, yada yada. So while I was shopping for those, I came across this X13 Flow, and it was on sale at Best Buy for like $6.99. It was crazy. It's half off. It retails for $12.50, I believe. Now this model we're looking at here is actually the integrated graphics model. So it used to come in a 450, a 460, or a 470 NVIDIA GTX card, but now all I see is the 460 and 470. So that 450 model likely discontinued. But this one just has the integrated graphics. So it's got the AMD Ryzen 9 7940HS mobile processor. It's an 8-core, 16-thread, 16 megabytes of L3 cache, up to 5.2 gigahertz max boost. It's got the integrated AMD Radeon 780M card, 16 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM, adaptive sync, 512 SSD. It's got pretty much everything that you need to get started, right? I wouldn't call it a spec beast, but I would call it plenty usable. And again, when you're comparing it against a handheld, I think it makes a lot of sense. 13-inch display, crazy thin, crazy light, great I/O, and really great screen, great keyboard. I'll open it up for you here. There's some other footage around, but so you can see, really nice laptop. And of course, it is also a convertible. So you have typical laptop mode. You can go fully flat if that is your preference. You can tent it, which I've had a lot of fun doing, like that a lot, or just full on tablet mode. So it's got flexibility. It's got options for how you play. It's got options for how you want to space it out and the space that you have to actually use it. It's great. So with that said, let's get into the unboxing, and then I'll go through and do a first impressions. So with the unboxing here, it's a pretty typical experience. We've got the Asus box, well supported, some tape, pretty basic black box, pretty nondescript. It actually came wrapped up in like a brown shrink wrap, which I guess is to hide what the actual product is. Was kind of cool to see that. Not something I've seen before, but nice for porch thieves and such. Once we take the laptop actually out of the shipping box though, you can see it's got a unique box, kind of a cool design. It's some sort of geolocator from space to the Asus headquarters, I guess. I don't know, a little bit overthought through, but it looks cool. There's great colors that show and all of that. Really solid box. And when we open it up here, we can actually see the laptop packaged really nicely, almost MacBook levels of nice. It's not that really clean paper that just perfectly comes off, but it still works out well. There's some paperwork in the box as well. Be sure to throw that aside. Definitely not going to need that. Also comes with a box of accessories. You can open this up and see the charger cable, US cables. It's a 100-watt USB-C charger. The USB-C cable portion of the charger is not removable. So something to keep in mind. And here's the laptop up close. So you can see it's got a really cool kind of carbon fiber-esque design, but it's not carbon fiber. It does have some texture to it. You can feel the sort of ridges on there. Very thin, very light, great I/O. It's got USB-A, 2 USB-Cs, micro SD card slot, HDMI out, which is great to see too. And then of course the ROG graphics card port. You can basically plug in an external graphics card. Has to be from Asus, but is still kind of a cool thing to have if that's something that interests you. Keyboard is great. Trackpad is great. They both feel really good. Overall build quality here, super solid. Again, comes with everything you need in the package to get you started. So let's get into first impressions on the laptop. Like I said earlier, it feels so good. It feels so premium. And like, if you've ever bought a cheap gaming laptop in your life, you know how cheap a cheap gaming laptop can feel. I mean, plasticky and creaky, really crappy matte finishes on the display, terrible keyboard, terrible trackpad, and this laptop has none of that. It's a glossy 1920 by 1080 or 1920 by 1200 display, so it is 16 by 10. Glossy for the touchscreen, right? It is also a touchscreen. It looks great, it feels great, easy to use. Keyboard is awesome, mouse is awesome. Again, they feel easy. They feel easy to use. It's that Apple level of like, they thought through this, right? And they developed it well. I've been really happy with the speed and the performance from this laptop. I think this processor may be overkill for the size of the device, the resolution of the device, but it's functioned incredibly well. I mean, just basic day-to-day tasks, web browsing, productivity, super slick, super quick. Wi-Fi 6E runs really quickly as well. I'm getting great download and upload speeds. AMD drivers, pretty easy to download and install. The laptop comes with a lot of what you need to get started there. There is a little bit of bloatware on the machine. There's Armory Crate, which I think any Asus product is going to have. There's also My Asus, which is another program that's just like Armory Crate. It shows almost the exact same things, except you can also file like support tickets on it. I don't know. I'm probably going to uninstall those things. I think they just slow the machine down a little bit. They don't provide a whole lot of utility. But if we open up and look at hardware monitor here, you can see it is an 8-core, 16-thread processor, running well, nice and low temperatures at idle, bouncing between like 35 to 40 degrees Celsius with no fans on at all. So that's really great, kind of in the silent mode. The other thing I want to touch on is battery life. So battery life on this machine has been crazy good. You know, it's showing me up to 10 hours, 10 to 11 hours sometimes of just basic productivity or like YouTube video watching. You can't beat that. A laptop this size with this good a screen and that high capacity of a battery is a killer combination. So I'm not going to do any like benchmarking software because I don't feel like that's super helpful. I don't feel like it tells the whole story. Instead, I'm going to pull up just some gameplay. And like I said earlier, Overwatch is typically what I'm looking to play. And here you can see Overwatch running. This is unplugged and in the balanced performance mode. So the laptop is trying to run the game well, but also keep the fan noise down, keep temperatures down. And unplugged here, you can see we're at 60 FPS, pretty solid. A very playable experience with Overwatch here. This is at 1080p and medium settings. So I could actually do a little bit better if I pulled those settings down to low, but I think medium is a fine balance for this game, and I'll take 60 unplugged. I think that's great. My Steam Deck, I did sort of hack it and get Overwatch working there. It played it at about 30 frames per second. So getting effectively twice the performance at a higher resolution and on a laptop, which is great. So then I went in, I plugged the laptop in, I went into Armory Crate and turned the settings all the way up to turbo mode, which is like the craziest, fastest mode. We also have the overlay now showing. Sorry, that wasn't on the last one. Hopefully this is easier for you guys to read. But, you know, I'm getting a pretty steady 95 to 100 frames per second plugged in turbo mode, 1080p medium settings. And this is great. It's only a 120 hertz screen. So getting into that realm here with relative ease is a treat. Again, playing on here, especially with Overwatch, has just been a totally easy, totally seamless, and totally playable experience. And exactly what I was hoping to get from a laptop like this. Here you can also see some of my silver tier trash gameplay. Don't judge. Now, I also want to show you tent mode. So I've got Hades pulled up here. Again, running at a super solid 120 FPS. It's just locked in at 120 here. This is kind of just the starting rooms. But running in tent mode is a lot of fun. You get the keyboard out of the way. You actually give the laptop better airflow because the fans are exhausting from that back top portion there. So it's got better airflow. It's running cooler. And I'm solid at 120 frames, you know, basically the highest settings that Hades will allow me to run it at, and it's no problem. Super low input too. I'm playing it with a Bluetooth Xbox controller, and the input lag is non-perceptible. The screen looks great. Colors are super vivid. The 120 hertz refresh rate, again, really shining here. And tent mode is super fun. I highly recommend it. This is also how I play when I'm on a flight. It just barely fits on the tray table in front of me. I bring my controller, and it's sweet. I see all the people behind me watching me play and wondering, what is that and how do I get one? Which is a cool feeling. Okay, so now we'll do a little bit of a speaker test. Here's the industry standard crab rave, and I'll let this play for a second and let you listen. So as you can hear, the speakers aren't great. They are downward facing speakers. They're bouncing off of like your desk or your lap or wherever you have the computer on. And they just sound fine. They're not very bassy, but they do get fairly loud. Definitely loud enough to fill my office with sound. And yeah, not a whole lot to complain about there. I would say if you're looking for a top tier audio experience, you're gonna want your own headphones. But that's also the case for pretty much any other laptop besides maybe a MacBook Pro. So that's something for you to consider as well. Cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that overview of the Asus ROG Flow X13. Overall, if you didn't get the sense from the review, I am super stoked on this laptop. I feel like it plays every game that I want to play at well above the frame rate level that I want to be at. The screen looks awesome. The battery life is also really great, super long. Keyboard and trackpad feel high quality. The overall build of the laptop is super high quality. The price that I was able to get it at was amazing. I'm so glad I jumped in when I did because it looks like that sale is down now, but I would imagine this laptop is probably getting discontinued in the next month or two here. So keep an eye out for more sales coming up on this one. If you can pick it up for $799, $899, I would totally grab it. And if you're cross-shopping this with any of the other handhelds, like I was, the Legion Go, the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, I highly recommend you consider this device instead. With the Ryzen processor and the 780M graphics, I think it performs better than most of the handhelds, and most of that's because it runs at a higher wattage too. So more power is getting to those components. Even if they are largely comparable on paper, the wattage makes all the difference here. So you're getting better performance. I would argue you're getting a more portable form factor and more flexible form factor for other types of work. You know, you've got a full Windows experience here. And yeah, it runs great. It's a device I've really enjoyed using over the last few weeks now, and it's one I would highly recommend. So that's all I've got to say about the Asus ROG Flow X13. Go out and get one if you can find one. Wait for it to go on sale. The MSRP on this is probably a little higher than I'd feel comfortable paying, but a few $100 off, I'd go ahead and grab it. You won't regret it. Even this integrated graphics model, I actually think this is kind of the sweet spot. This laptop can't take advantage of a 4060 or 4070 just because of wattage limitations and cooling limitations anyways. So know what you're buying, know the experience that you're getting. But if you find this on sale and you're wondering, should I pick this up? Should I wait for an updated version? Should I go with a Legion Go or a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck? I would say no. I'd say go for this. It's worked for all of my needs. So thank you for watching. If you liked this video, give me a like. This is my very first video, so if you want to be on the ground floor of some cool stuff, subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you. Comment below and let me know what you liked about this, what you didn't, what I could do better. I'll take those into strong consideration. And with that, this has been a video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.